Good morning and welcome to Williams Dog Training Company. We're here today with Fred and Jodie, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Jodie's ability to understand and respond to her obedience commands, the corrections and motivations that we give while we are working with her, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot training leash, and he's going to keep the bulk of that leash folded neatly in his right hand, leaving his left hand free to give the correction. The correction that we give is a tug and release on the training collar, which is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Jodie has been fitted with her own personal training collar, and we will be sure to show you how to properly put that collar on and use it during your one-on-one lesson. Now, Jodie is seated very nicely on Fred's left-hand side, which is where all of our obedience training takes place. The next command, the command they're going to demonstrate for you now is heeling, and heeling is proper walking on a leash. Fred and Jodie take off doing that now, and the command that you're going to give is Jodie heel, and you're going to start walking, and Jodie should heel and fall in line nicely right there at your left heel position on your left hand side. She should not be lagging behind so you pull her on the leash, nor should she be lunging ahead and pulling you on the leash. Also incorporated into our heeling exercise is an automatic sit. So anytime you're out walking and you stop, she sits nicely just as she did right there. You can see she's not trying to pull ahead. The next command they're going to demonstrate for you is the stay command, and the stay command is a hand and a voice command. You're going to use the open flat of your left palm an inch or so in front of her muzzle and the one-word command to stay. You're then going to walk out to the end of your training leash. Jodie should remain seated in this position throughout the entire command, and she should not move. This is a great command to practice frequently throughout your day to help build up Jodie's ability to sit and stay for longer periods of time. When you are practicing at home, you'll start at 1 minute, and you'll increase your intervals over time, working up to 3 minutes for the long sit stay. When Fred returns back, he walks all the way and around her, returning back to heel position. And he gives her a little pet on the head and lets her know she did a great job. It is important when Jodie completes her commands appropriately that you let her know so by either giving her a physical pet or verbal praise and telling her good girl, some kind of positive reinforcement to keep her motivated throughout her commands. Fred's demonstrating the sit stay again, walking out to the end of the leash. And instead of returning back this time, they're going to demonstrate the recall or the come on command. You're going to call Jodie in using her name.
Jodie, come.
She should come in and sit nicely right in front of you, very nicely done. And you return her to heel position, heeling her around the back of you, returning her to your left-hand side. Again, she should sit there nicely, waiting for her next command. So Fred's going to go ahead and demonstrate the recall or the come on command again. So leave her in a sit stay, walk out to the end of the leash. Call her in using her name. You can use that leash to guide her directly in front of you if need be. Heel her around the back of you. She comes around and sits nicely at your left heel position. Very nicely done. Now when Jodie comes home, you want to make sure that you're generalizing your commands by working them both indoors as well as outdoors. Also at first, you want to make sure that you pick an area with no distractions while working her commands. So that way you can get a better feel working her through her commands, and you guys can establish that bond during her transition back home, and slowly over time increase your amount of distractions in your training sessions. Now the next command they're going to demonstrate is the down from a heel position. Again, you're going to use the open flat of your left palm, but this time straight down towards the ground in the one-word command to down. Then give the stay command, walk out to the end of your leash. With the long down stay, she should remain laying down in this position throughout the entire command. Again, another great command to practice frequently throughout your day to help build up Jodie's ability to down stay for longer periods of time. This command starts typically at 3 minutes, and you increase your intervals over time, working up to 5 minutes. Fred's going ahead and returning back. Again, walking all the way around. Good girl, Jody. Another good tip is for the first 2 to 4 weeks that Jody has returned back home and helping her with the transition, it is important that although you should be generalizing your commands and incorporating them every day into your schedule, you should also be setting aside 10 to 15 minutes every day to work on her formal obedience commands in a session such as this video here. Fred demonstrates that down stay again, and then this time I'll demonstrate the recall or the come on command from the down position where Jody must get up and come in. Good girl.
Jody, heel.
Good girl. So this last command that they're going to set up here for is the down from a distance.
Heel.
She has 2 down commands.
Stay.
Leave her in a sit, stay, and walk out to the end of the leash so that you're directly in front of her. Give her the down command from the end of the leash using your right hand this time.
Down.
Good job.
Jody, heel.
Good girl. Now towards the end of the stay here at school, we've worked up the ability to drop the leash while leaving her in a stay. So Fred's going to leave her in a sit stay and drop the leash. So we've worked on increasing our distance for our sit stay. Now this is something that you can practice at home, but you want to make sure that she is completing her sit stay for you 100% of the time on leash before you advance to dropping the leash. You want to make sure that she's following through with that sit stay every time before you increase your distance by dropping the leash. Fred's going to put her in a down.
Stay.
Good girl. Eventually you'll be able to use this to leave her in a down stay to walk out of the room. And this is something that you work up to and graduate over time. Good girl.
Jody, heel.
We've demonstrated for you today all the obedience commands that Jody has learned here at school. It's been a pleasure working with Jody, and we thank you again for choosing Williams Dog Training Company as your personal dog trainer.